Good morning, Michael Walsh with Roger Norgel here. Welcome to Norwell Farm. Today is Sunday, December the 28th, and we've back up to 40 degrees today. It's very foggy. We've had some rain, and then it's supposed to get back down in the single digits later this week. As I've said before, I just wish it would get cold and stay cold. Daytime temperatures in the 20s and nighttime in the teens would be perfect. In today's video, we're going to be doing some not last minute, but some lambing preparations that need to be done. And so we'll get started with that today. I made these lambing brooders, I think it was last year I used them. I know I used them last year, it might have been the year before, but there's a heat lamp with a shield in there. And then this is just a metal garbage can, but that hangs down over it. That helps keep the heat directed down around the lamb. When it's really cold during lambing, that first 24, 48 hours, we use these to help keep the baby lambs warmer. Once they're dry, they can usually tolerate the cold, but we need to test all these to make sure their bulbs are working. And it is. So that's the last one I had to test. All the others are working. I've got 3 of the brooders, I think. Yeah, 3 brooders. And then there's another lamp there. If I have to make another brooder, I'll just get another garbage can to make that. So we got those are good to go because you never know when you need them, and you want to make sure they're effective. One thing I've added to the office out here is a dry erase year-at-a-glance calendar. And at first I was writing what we had on certain days, but if you look close, there's just X's on those days, and that reminds me to check my herd watch app on my phone because I have the details there. But this way it gives me just an idea of how busy I am at different times of the year. We're planning a vacation next year to Scotland in July, so I've got that marked off, and my nephew's getting married in May, so we have to plan around those times. Another one is we're shearing the sheep on the 26th of April. So just kind of helps me have an idea of the busy months and what needs to be done. This is our storage cabinet, and lambing supplies are in here and some other things. Here's our syringes, different sizes, different size needles, marking paint. This is the bottle of iodine I use to dip the navels. The main bottle is down here. There's some left in that one, then I ordered another one. Propylene glycol. Sometimes if you have a ewe that's not eating, need some extra calories that way, you can use that. These are the pliers that we use to put the rubber bands on tails and to castrate the male lambs. These are tagging pliers that go to the EID and scrapey tags. This is the side cut plier, and I'll show you what I'm using this for. When we apply those tags, I'll explain it when I show you what I'm doing when we work on the ewes. These are ear tagger pliers for these tags, and I am replacing the lime colored tags in the ewes with these orange ones because these are two-sided. The lime ones, when I bought them, they only had it on one side, and they work well on the goats, but they just don't work well for the sheep. So these are basic supplies here. Colostrum supply, powdered colostrum. I've got, I think, 8 packages left. It should be enough. I generally tube each lamb and kid when they're born with 60 cc's of powdered colostrum right away. It just gets energy into them, it warms them up, and then they get up and get nursed and get mom's colostrum. So that's worked really well for us. Here's our clippers, and we're going to use those to finish clipping those ewes today. I'll show you that. And here's the clipper oil. You got to use plenty of oil. The other thing we have to make sure we have is oxytocin, which I have some. I don't use it much, but as you can see, this expired April of 24. So I haven't used much of it, so I need to get some more of that. I need to refresh our supply of penicillin. I do have some Draxxin. That's another antibiotic that I use when I suspect joint ill or severe pneumonia. Penicillin is a good general antibiotic if you use high doses, if you got like an abscess or something like that. So I need to restock on those supplies because we're going to be lambing here in about 3 weeks. We have a good supply of nipples for bottles for orphan lambs, orphan kids. We usually have more bottle baby goats than we do lambs just because the goats have a lot higher incidence of triplets and multiples. So we've got those there when we need them. You can see on the Jacob ewe right there, her tail, she has a long tail. So we shaved all that off, makes it much cleaner. And then I've shaved her flank there, around her udder. Show you on this one here. There again, those long tails, we bought them, they had the long tails when we got them. So we shave all that off and keeps the urine and the feces from sticking to that. And we can see the udder much better. You can just kind of see the udder there as she walks a little bit, right there. She's due, I think a couple weeks after this one over here. And I think this ewe right here, that one's what we call Patsy, I think she's going to lamb first. She's due on the 16th, and she's got a well-developed udder. She scanned for single, but I think she's going to have twins. She usually has. She had a single last year, but she's bigger than she was last year, and she had twins the 2 times before that. So we're going to get started on these other ewes and get that finished up today. Restraint is always an important issue here, and I try to do the least stressful way possible, and then we'll get them 1, hopefully, or 2, doesn't matter, but get them in that small pen, and then I'll put a halter on them, and then we'll tie them up to clip them. I've had a number of these tags pull out of the ear, not a lot, but what I've decided to do is just clip that so it can swivel. Because the tag stays in, it gets caught on something and then pulls through. Now this is actually a microchip tag, and you can actually see the microchip right in there. But that'll stay in, that swivels. Actually can go over this way a lot of times. Doesn't hurt their ear. And this winter, when I put the tags in the lambs, I will put it in, and then I will take this side cut plier and just clip that part of it and make it so it swivels, and I think those will stay in a lot better. This is one of our Suffolk ewes. Suffolks don't have nearly the length of wool that the Ile-de-France do, but you can still see how the flank area there is just kind of hanging down. So we'll trim that up, trim some of that belly wool right there. Get that all trimmed up so that there's a clear shot for the lamb to go in and find the nipple. Let's see, we didn't have a lot to trim on her, but You can see now, you can just barely see her udder underneath there. Nipples right there. But when the lamb goes to nurse, there's a nice direct open shot in there. No wool in the way. And this keeps her cleaner when she lambs. I'm actually going to trim that off the front of there. Clean that up a little bit. But just helps the lambs a lot. Last year, I trimmed up back here too. Last year I just used scissors when they lambed and trimmed around there, but this does a much better job. And I didn't trim up nearly as much around the vulva and the back end there, so this will keep them cleaner, and I won't have to worry about it when they lamb. And it's 40 degrees today instead of 20. Makes a difference when you're working on them. So I really like the way that cleaned up there. This is one of the ewes that I put one of those lime tags in, and it was only one-sided, and then it got paint on it, and the rattle was on the ram. Her number is actually 45. It's hard to read. So we're taking those off, and we're putting a two-sided orange tag in. This tag goes in the plier. Number side goes away, and that clips under there. Holds the female portion in place. The male portion, there's the number on there. It goes with a number facing towards me. Slides on there. And then you make sure that that point lines up with the tag. You can kind of see that there. Now, I'm going to take her old tag out and use the same hole so we're not punching her skin again. So that's the old tag. I just had this male part had no number, and then that went through and affixed to the female part. So we'll get the new tag in her. She'll probably jump a little bit because she'll just feel a little pinch, but it's not painful. It just stretched the skin a bit when it went through, but we used the old hole. So now she has a number, backside and front side, much easier to read. She has a couple of these tags that are solid on the end. There. That'll swivel. They don't like their ears messed with. There we go. So everybody's done. It took me 2 hours and 45 minutes to do 8 of them. The last 2 were the hardest, obviously. I guess the longer you go, the tighter you got. But overall, I'm pleased the way they look. There's the one ewe that we did the blood test on. Said she was pregnant. Didn't have much udder, so she could be as far as 2 months off. So I think she is, but we'll see. We'll keep her in here. We'll find out. So thanks for joining us at Norgel Farm, and we'll see you next time.